We first started working with ECM back in 2020 when we were developing the first generation of our film controller, the inertia wheels, where we were using brushless motors inside the wheels to create mass and drag to increase the fidelity of camera operators. One of the issues that we encountered with that system at the time of using a conventional brushless motor was that we could only tune the motor so high because we would experience cogging in the haptic feedback system. And so we started looking for what solutions we could use in order to improve the system and take it to the next level for the next generation of products, which is where we found ECM and their PCB stators. What attracted us to them was primarily that they had no cogging in their motor system and that we could integrate it deeply in with our product. Before working with ECM and using PCB stators in the inertia wheels, we were running up against the performance limit of what brushless motors could deliver to us. Additionally to that, we had to select motors from an existing catalog and what fit best into our product, both from a price standpoint and performance standpoint. And we really had no control over it. I think at the end of the day, we could only really choose between about 3 different motors from several different companies. And the logistics of choosing, trying, and selecting a vendor was really difficult, as well as a lot of quality control was out of our hands, which frankly wasn't really the best for our product long term. When we worked with ECM to develop the Inertia Wheels Max, which uses PCB stators, we really learned about how much control we PrintStator to actually integrate the assembly of the motor into the assembly of the product and to allow the components to be shared between both the motor and the product, which increased the amount of torque, reduced the number of components that we used, and really allowed the product to go to the next level. We continue to service the original product, but now we have the Inertia Wheels Max, which is our premium offering. From that, in using those motors, we really started to learn how much we could push these motors in software. It was an order of magnitude of increase in fidelity and control that we were able to get from the motors in our haptic application. And that is what led to us to actually design the idea of coming up with a gimbal or a remote head or a fluid head that uses those same motors. So the torque head is a born out of the experience of working with the inertia wheels, where we learned about what we could accomplish with haptics. And the product of the torque head really couldn't have existed before these motors, because it allowed us to take an optimization problem, which is you have a collection of motors and a stabilized gimbal, and to solve it in a way that is precise. So every motor is perfectly scaled for the nested motors that are related to it. It's an optimization solution that really couldn't have existed before and frankly didn't. And so now with this, we call it the torque head because we're able to take all the necessary and desirable functions of torque that are used on a film set and put it into one product. So we can use this as a remote head, we can use it as a gimbal, but users can also use it as a fluid head, so they can change modes and then operate it by hand, and they can adjust the characteristics of the head, both how it feels in terms of mass and drag, exactly the same as they do with our conventional wheeled product, but now it can exist directly at the camera. So it frees up camera operators to no longer have to think about exactly what tool fits the job. Instead, they can focus on the creative aspect, and they've really enjoyed the benefit of being able to take all the necessary features of torque that you find on a film set and get it into one product. And PrintStator is what allowed us to solve that problem to begin with. So on a conventional film set, you may encounter a fluid head, a remote head, a handheld gimbal, and all 3 of those components each come with a different price tag. They come with a different setup time. And asking and requesting for them from the film crew may involve politics, logistics, and budget. And the torque head really brings those elements all together into one. So you can get one solution that will fit all of them. And we're able to do it thanks to the axial flux motors in a very low profile, which is a major game changer in a lot of instances, because you may encounter remote heads similarly capable of torque head, but twice the size and 10 times the price. Or you may encounter a fluid head that on its own costs $20,000. But the changeover time from one to the other, when you have an actor on set that's an A-list actor that's making millions of dollars, just a couple minutes can be thousands of dollars on a major film set. So every second that we can shave off of that process on set, it comes back to the filmmaker in terms of dollars and return on investment. And it translates the same optimization problem that we're trying to solve with the system, and it allows the filmmaker to gain the same benefits on set. The primary benefits we've received from working with PrintStator is genuinely that we can take the motor and deeply embed it into our product. In other film products, you'll see that there is a motor encased in a housing, and that's attached to another assembly, and the stack up of components adds weight and no torque benefit. In our case, pretty much the entire product of the torque head is motors. We've integrated our motor controllers into the motor. There's very little mechanical components that are not torque generating, and that just simply means at the end of the day the filmmaker benefits the most, and there's less overhead in terms of shipping, logistics, materials, just lost weight that means no benefit for the filmmaker. In terms of the experience we've had working with other motor manufacturers and suppliers, ECM is a night and day experience that is just, it couldn't be more different. Working with previous motor manufacturers, we would spend months dealing with the smallest detail of like bearings or preloading or quality control, whereas working with ECM, the conversation was focused much more about what do we need in terms of exact scientific measurable specifications, and getting from them files that we could then use within our own assemblies. And so the relationship was night and day. One was like shopping from a catalog, and the other one helped transform our company into being a motor manufacturer of our own, developing custom motors exactly for our customers at relatively low volumes. We came to ECM looking for better motors. We left becoming motor manufacturers of our own. Working with ECM has been a transformative experience for us. We got into this just looking for a motor, one that was better, had better performance than the ones we were using out of a catalog. And the end of this journey has really been, now we have the doors open to us to be able to make new products with motors that we never thought was possible before. It's been a transformative journey from someone looking to just buy a motor to now we can manufacture them ourselves to our own specifications exactly as we need them. We've developed custom motor drivers. We've developed an architecture to build scaffolding around motors that allows our gimbal to be modular. In fact, even within our own ecosystem, we are able to rewrite our software, build custom bracketries to make different remote heads to feature different functions at a breakneck pace. So just like how PrintStator can rapidly prototype, we're able to take our motors, put them into new brackets, assign different software functions to them, and within the span of several weeks, we can create new solutions for filmmakers that really wasn't possible before. So we've taken a lot of the attitude and mentality of what ECM brings to the table with PrintStator in terms of rapid innovation, and we've applied it within our own ecosystem to really transform how NODO innovates for our customers. And I think the attitude of software as a service, and paired with these motors of such incredible performance and scale, really can help change how the engineering and the industrial design in your company functions. It's certainly changed ours and given our engineers imagination to create things that they didn't see possible before. Where there was limitations, now there's opportunities. It's really quite a remarkable shift in how we view the product design experience.